Hey guys, welcome to another video from Historic Militaria. Today we're going to be looking at a gun you could just kind of ask, how much abuse can a broom handle take and still work? And I guess the answer is quite a bit. This is a still working, somehow, wartime commercial Mauser that was made during World War I for the Imperial German government. It has actually got the Imperial acceptance stamp right there. So this was a military gun, and it is an all-standard World War I era Mauser that would have seen service with the Imperial German Army in about 1917, probably manufactured. This one has a kind of an interesting history. Obviously, it saw a lot of service during its lifetime. The original grips have been replaced with these absolutely fantastic custom-made grips. And if you can't hear the sarcasm in my voice, I don't know what to tell you. These are very old grips, so whoever did them a long time ago. This gun actually came back with a U.S. soldier from Vietnam. And so how it got to Vietnam, I'm not exactly sure. I know that obviously a lot of broom handles made it over to China during the warlord era and were then used well after World War II by Chinese forces, both communist and Chiang Kai-shek's. And then a lot of these actually did show up in Vietnam. There's quite a few pictures of captured weapons, stashes with broom handles in them. So this well could have been one of those, but a U.S. soldier did acquire it and bring it home. As you can see, it's got its standard marking still. Obviously, all the fire blue is long gone off it. It may have even been reblued at one point. I'm really not sure because of the markings here are almost gone off the side. And just the general, it looks like it had maybe even a different finish on it at one point that's now been harshly cleaned away, almost by a chemical cleaning, it looks like. I'm not really sure. But the serial is still fairly visible there. And ironically, this gun is all matching. There's nothing that's been replaced on it. All the external and internal parts actually do match. You've got your serials here as you'd expect with that terrible wartime stamping on them. You still have your original new safety trigger or hammer, and the safety on this still works fine. The gun mechanically functions. That's still a really tight hammer spring in there, and then the trigger functions it just fine. And this would definitely be a shooter if you wanted to shoot it. The bore, not so much, but just for what it is, it's an interesting gun that has seen some service and has these field replaced grips that really, I guess, on a gun like this, it's actually kind of cool because it makes it a little more interesting. It did see a lot of service. Another interesting thing about this gun is on the magazine floor plate here, there is some very old and sort of crudely stamped numbers that have nothing to do with the serial number, but not really sure what that was, but it looks like some sort of inventory number or military inventory number or something at some point. I really haven't seen that on a lot of other broom handles, so that's a kind of an interesting thing on this one. This one actually does have a matched stock that is not a Mauser stock. It is a somewhat crude but interesting military one that went with it and has been numbered to the gun. So this was used by some sort of military, and obviously if it was in North Vietnam, I would imagine that maybe even the NVA did that. I'm really not sure about North Vietnamese use of broom handles during World War II, or I'm sorry, during the Vietnam era. I just know they were used. So just wanted to show you some of the interesting guns that are floating around out there and what you might come across. Always a gun with an interesting story is really cool to have. Obviously, for a gun like this, be very cautious about paying any extra for it, other than if you absolutely have documentation, which this one did not come with any documentation, but you know, for what it was selling for, it was very fair, and given all the circumstances, I have no reason to believe anything other than it came from Vietnam. But if you enjoy seeing videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be doing more about ordnance, firearms, helmets, and all kinds of cool military stuff. Thanks for watching.